Hello, it's me. Okay, so you guys will probably read the title, and hopefully you'll understand my absence now. Yes, I attempted what I'm calling a gen lock, where I play one game from every generation. Not 8th and 9th, because I don't have the assets to randomize that, in a hardcore Nuzlocke, which I'll flash the rules on screen for you, so if you want to read them, pause the video. All caught up? Perfect. Now, the thing is, vanilla games, they're pretty boring, so I actually wanted to spice it up a bit. Now, I could do a randomizer, however, randomizing trainer just gets rid of the preparation aspect, which is something I really enjoy in Pokemon. Alright, so what I'll do is I'll randomize the encounters, right? But the problem with randomizing encounters is I could still find some pretty broken Pokemon in the early game, which just doesn't make it fun. Solution? There's a setting called Scaled Encounters, where every Pokemon on a route is swapped with a Pokemon with a similar base stat total, meaning I'll get a first stage Pokemon at the start and decent Pokemon by the end. I also ended up randomizing abilities and items, which does include TMs. Also, for the remakes I played, like Fire Red and Soul Silver, I restricted it to only Gen 1 and Gen 2 mons respectively, to keep the aspect of this challenge fair, so you could see how my team broadens out throughout the challenge. One final note. Trust me, this is not like my last Pokemon video. This is a lot more fast-paced, well-explained, and it's all voiced over. Just so you know it's not another nerd fest before you click off. Feel free to use the hyperlinks to pick which games you want to skip. Don't do that actually. Watch the whole thing. And please subscribe or I'll eat your babies. Enjoy. So, my very first starters to this challenge were Poliwag, Charmander, Dratini. And as much as I love Dratini, just Fire Red. Just gotta go with Charmander. My first encounters were just your basic early game stuff. Nidoran, Zubat, Spearow, and a Weedle. Yippee! And to be honest, I thought I'd be fucked for Brock, because I mean, look at my team. But no, Charmander has Metal Claw at this point, and the Geodude just spams defense kills, I kill it slowly. Onyx Rock Tomb obviously doesn't kill. I mean, this is an Onyx. I mean, Onyx suck, right? This isn't foreshadowing. But Nidoran can kill it after a ground and 2 double kicks. You know, if someone said to me, you have to have sex with one Pokemon, who would it be? It'd have to be Ditto, wouldn't it? Yeah, it's not really where you thought I was going to go. Oh yeah, also got Pidgey. The rival fight is really easy. Garfield, by the way. Beedrill was the hard carry early game. And who the fuck thought it was a good idea to give him an Abra with only teleport? 2 more encounters before the gym go by, and it's Misty time. It's one of the only challenging fights in this game, but, you know, I have a Voltorb, and it easily marks the Staryu with Spark. And then the scary Starmie comes out. Now, my neuron activation brain thought Charged raised your Spadef in this gen, like it does in the recent gens, so when I clicked it and stayed in on another Water Pulse, I totally had my first death of the run. Is it worth the risk? Yeah, it's only a Voltorb, right? We'll try it. Okay, well, that did not work as I wanted it to. Firo tries to do something, but it genuinely just sucks, and it almost dies thanks to confusion. But the Goat Beedrill can come in with assistance from Raticate, and it cleans up the house. I really should have been crit there, to be honest. Now from here on out, I get like 50 more encounters, and only one single one is cool, and it's a Magikarp. Now, I get to Curb Stomp Ogar again, which I always love doing, and I have a really diverse team to defeat him, so it's pretty easy. I honestly thought LT Surge would be difficult, but Diglett just obliterates all of his mons with Dig before Gyarados finishes off Raichu. I mean, it's a Diglett. What? After that epic Diglett sweep, I get some mare encounters on the way to Celadon City. The 2 main ones being Omanyte and Geodude from the game corner that I totally spent 50 hours grinding for and didn't just give myself infinite cash because I don't pirate games, I'm using this illegally. Also, I firstly failed my encounter. It was a Drought Growlithe, and you know what, just look for yourself. Okay, I need to be careful. I need... Okay. Boss rush time. Erica is really easy because the grass types suck, and I have like 50 good mons against her, and the only one I use is Golbat, and it sweeps our whole team. The first Giovanni fight is painfully easy, thanks to Graveler walling Kangaskhan, the only actually challenging mon of the fight. Update, Ogar is still incredibly bad, and I effortlessly beat him again. Another update, I get a Ghastly encounter, which is goated, because Trade Evos evolve at level 30 in this. Did I really just say goated? What's this? Another Ogarfield fight? but it's actually hard. Just kidding, we have a Gengar that shits on his whole team with this dummy coverage. I mean, I really shouldn't have allowed myself to get trade evolutions, but I did. Oh yeah, and Golbat did something too, I guess. Gengar also murders Giovanni's whole team because his Nidoqueen and Kangaskhan have nothing to hit ghost types. The hardest gym leader of this game is no doubt Sabrina. But again, we have a Gengar that sweeps our whole team because it outspeeds everything and one-shots it, even with a weak physical attack Shadow Punch. Why? Oh yeah, we also get like a few more encounters after this, mainly Electabuzz because I was really excited for it, and Machop because it evolved, and Dratini because I really love Dragonite and everyone just calls it fat. Oh right, yeah, Koga as well. We take Dugtrio off the bench, and I honestly thought this fight might be a little bit challenging, but Dugtrio genuinely just OHKOs all 4 of his mons with Dick the same way that she did to Lieutenant Surge. Why is this game so easy, man? Oh yeah, I also had another failed encounter. Also, I got a very exciting Magnemite encounter. And it's time for the 7th gym leader, Blaine. Remember that Drought Growlithe that I, kind of failed? Yeah, Blaine now has an effective Sun team. This might actually be challenging. Omastar still beats it thankfully with Mudshot because it gets literally 0 good moves. But Color Change screws me over and Kabutops almost dies to a crit bite from an Arcanine. And then I remembered, I have Rain Dance my Gyarados and the gym suddenly becomes really easy again. I just kill the rest of the mons with Surf. What a great Nuzlocker I am, honestly. The final gym leader is once again Giovanni, a better plot twist than any of the recent Pokemon games have pulled off. And yeah, it's just another sweep, but this time it's from Surf Gyarados. Glad he finally got to put in work against someone. My final encounter of the run is a Paris. It's not really important, I just felt like mentioning it. Oh yeah, my Elite Four team is looking pretty strong, with some broken moves to go with it. The Drizzle Magnemite with 100% accurate Thunders is a good one to note. As well as my finally evolved Dragonite. I really do pull up to the Elite Four with 3 flying types. Lorelei is up first. Magneton just goes on a spree and kills the first 4 Pokemon. And then the Jinx starts giving me issues because of Lovely Kiss and Ice Punch. A static proc from Gyarados, it might have saved me, and Gengar can finish it up by avoiding a crit with Shadow Ball. That was kind of close. It's Bruno time though, and Gyarados can easily kill the Onix. Because there's an Onix, I mean it's not difficult. And the crit Rock Tomb from Hitmonchan really does not help my Dragonite. Gyarados can crit the Hitmonchan with a rain boosted Surf which somehow doesn't kill, and I have to kill it afterwards. And some quick pivoting lets me get Gengar in to deal with Machamp thanks to Psychic. However, I forgot I had Scary Face to me, and I almost lost Gengar to an Onix. The Alpharad meme almost killed my best Pokemon, and I'm never getting over that. Charizard can finish off the Hitmonlee too. Turns out, Agatha is pretty damn easy if you have a Gengar. It kills her first 3 mons thanks to its coverage, Magneton can kill the Arbok with Thunder, and it weakens Gengar for Golem to finish it off, because Shadow Ball is physical in this gen. Lance is here, and Magneton can easily kill his Gyarados by outspeeding, which makes no sense by the way. The Dragonair can die to Toxic, and then the second one starts hitting really hard with Outrage. I mean, so hard that it starts to 3-hit KO Magneton. Our Gyarados takes it on with Ice Beam, thankfully, with help from Charizard. Aerodactyl gets shit on by Golem, thanks to no Agent Power boosts, and Golem also kills the Dragonite. Oh wait, we almost died. Hey, live editing HD reaction. You may be confused why I could hit the Dragonite with Earthquake. It's because I had color change and I hit it with Rock Blast before, meaning I could Earthquake it. So please don't accuse me of cheating in the comments, I will cry. And our first champion fight of this challenge is against Ogarfield. Magneton can murder the Pidgeot with Thunder, and then a Drought Arcanine hits the field. I have to make a risky play to swap out of Magneton and back into it to get Rain back up, thankfully dodging a crit and allowing Gyarados to easily kill it in the rain with a Surf. The scariest mon, Alakazam, comes out. And then Golem just one-hit KOs it with Earthquake, because it Future Sights twice in a row. That's Gen 3 AI for you. Magneton ends up dying to the Future Sight later on because it's unresisted, but my Dragonite can easily beat the Venusaur, and I hope Dragonite can beat Gyarados to prove itself, but it just goes down to Thrash. Maybe it's not overrated, maybe it just sucks. But the GOAT Gengar can finish it off, and that's Fire Red. So here we are in Generation 2 with only Generation 2 Pokemon, even if it is Soul Silver, and the starter choice ends up with me going for another starter because Nidoran sure is decent, but I'm literally never taking Igglybuff here. Our rival Kaifano immediately shows his fire type, because of course he is, he's fucking Mickey as hell. However, this guy, it's really easy to defeat. Now if you thought we had a lot of encounters in Fire Red, please just wait until this game, because fucking hell, look at all these guys. Wait, is that a Wooper? Let's fucking go, dude. We quickly stroll up to fight Falkner, and we leave with our Bug-type Pokemon, because the Flying-type Pokemon has no flying moves. Obviously. Pidgeotto should be slightly more scary because it does have Gust, however we were able to put it to sleep and then go into Slug My Balls and chuck rocks at it until it dies. Yippee! So here we get a Tyrogue, and a Meryl, and a Spearow, you know, all the just general shit. And then Team Rocket come in, they're trying to steal my Pokemon, but I send them blasting off again, so we're all good. Now we're already at the second gym, and we have to fight Bugboy 1, and oh my fucking god, he is a Scyther. However, Butterfree actually gets some decent damage off with Gust before it U-turns out of my Ghastly. For some reason, he has a Kakuna and a Metapod, and they're just fodder to fall to some Nightshades from Ghastly, and then we send in Slugma to kind of take a U-turn, and then we kill it with Ember at the very end. Kaifano trying to steal my balls, as usual, so I have to knock him down a few pegs, just like every Minecraft test ever. He kind of sucks. Before we arrive in Hell, we can get a Clutch Magikarp and Skiploom before the third gym, and if you think the pacing of this segment is too fast, don't blame me, blame these games. So yeah, Whitney, the most feared gym leader in this game. However, thanks to the early game corner, we get to snag some broken TMs like Thunderbolt and Ice Beam already. However, Whitney is genuinely 500 IQ as her colour change Clefairy copycats Thunderbolt and can now fire off Stab Thunderbolts, which forces me to send in Wooper and then turn it into a water type thanks to Water Gun. Thanks to this, we can easily send in Ivysaur to finish it off, bringing in the Demon Milk Tank, who we get to Leech Seed and miss a poison. Fucking stupid. Ghastly gets to confuse it, and Miltank can only roll at me, which it just isn't wanting to do for some reason. I don't know why the AI is doing this, but it's not. We tail whip it down with the Azumarill in an attempt to get some extra damage off, and then swap back into our Ghastly, having a massive stall war as it spams milk drinks until it runs out, and I can finally kill this fucking cow. Jesus Christ. We failed 2 encounters in a row, including our Yippee Weedle, which fuck, I wanted that, but also we get a Mareep and a Doduo to compensate. Mickey Fano is back for another fight. Gyarados can easily bite down the Ghastly, and then Quagsire will Mud Bomb the Magnemite, Ice Beams the Golbat, and Water Gun Squilava. Nice one, Kaifano, you fucking suck. That was actually like damageless. I also get a Horsey, which is actually really exciting, because I actually have a Dragon Scale, meaning I can actually evolve this into Kingdra. Rick Morty is up next, and my team looking like Faulkner looking ass. However, this does actually pay off because my Butterfree can kill his Ghastly, his Gengar, and both his Haunters with non-stab Psy Beams. That's like a really weak move coming from a Butterfree. Why did that work? Team Rocket has moved on from harassing Pokemon to harassing women, which the HJ28 YouTube channel does not approve of. So we kind of like get rid of them, and then we actually get some pretty good encounters. A Houndour, a Chinchou, and a Weedle! Yippee! Sorry about that. Chuck seems pretty easy, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, Quagsire can yawn down Primeape, and then Fearow kills it with an Aerial Ace. And then the end of my life comes, because Poliwrath's in. So I send in Lantern first, expecting a Surf, and then he Body Slams, and it does 65%, which is like, okay, sure, maybe he's just really strong. And then I send in my Gyarados on a Focus Punch, and it does 75%. This Poliwrath is huge power, and is going to destroy my team. Once we get Butterfree in on a Surf, I take a bit of a gamble and manage to put it to sleep. And then we get Confusion with Psybeam, which, thanks to its massive attack stat now, it just OHKOs itself when it hits itself. God, that was a weird fight. We fuck around a bit, cure an Ampharos, and then immediately move on to the next gym, Jasmine. Thank you, Heart Gold Soul Silver. Very good pacing. So Quagsire actually stomps Jasmine to the ground because we can Mud Bomb the Magnemites and Magneton and then Surf the Steelix. Wow, that was a really hard fight, guys. We get the anti-flying type encounters with Kabuto, a Graveler, and a Magnemite who can't become Magnezone in this game. And we fight this guy. He's trying to hunt down Suicune or something, but he's ass and fumbles to my crazy team. Right, so I go encounter my shiny Gyarados, who I get a shiny Milk Tank off, which, sure, okay, whatever. And, well, my Quagsire kind of gets crit by a Body Slam and fucking dies. Turns out, Lance is just as pissed as I am due to my Quagsire's death, and he sends his Dragonite to just Hyper Beam this random guy. So we run down to do some rocket shenanigans, taking out Petrol first thanks to Ampharos and Thunderbolt. Then we have to do a double battle with Lance versus Ariana and some random fucking guy, but they too get folded by my Ampharos and Lance's Dragonite because they were so low leveled. Why is this game like this? After grabbing myself a Sandslash, Price is up now, who Lantern actually manages to sweep due to its perfect stab combo of Surf and Thunderbolt for this gym, killing his 3 Pokemon and him as well. Wait, what? Petrol thinks he's something with his 70 coughings, but he ain't that guy. However, Kaifano, he kind of is that guy, because as I was wiping the floor with him as usual, his Haunter gets lucky and kills my Houndoom. What the fuck? Leave it to Kaifano to kill my Pokemon in the most Mickey way imaginable. Of frickin' course. After punching Kaifano, we go on a Team Rocket boss gauntlet. However, they're all easy as shit, and they're all easily counterable. So here, have this flash montage of them on 16 times speed. Then we go fight the final boss of Team Rocket, whatever his name is, like Archer or some bullshit. Kingdra can surf the Houndour, and Houndoom double flinches my Kingdra because of course it does. Golem then earthquakes the shit out of Houndoom, and then coughing shortly after, which is why is the final boss of the evil team in Heart Gold Soul Silver so ass. Claire is up next, who is actually pretty challenging thanks to her Kingdra. Lantern can kill the Gyarados with Thunderbolt, and Miltank wins the War of Attrition versus her Dragonair thanks to Body Slam. Venusaur can tank a Hydro Pump and a Dragon Pulse from the Kingdra, whistling it down with Leech Seed, and then we put it to sleep as it smoke screens us. Now we can take it out with a couple of Energy Balls, and Golem, he may have to tank an Aqua Tail because I wasn't paying attention, but we finish off Dragonair with Earthquake. It was actually a decently challenging fight. The Elder deems as worthy as the badge because Claire was being a bit of a crybaby bitch. Boo-hoo, cry about it, cracker. The girls summon Lugia in a crazy-ass cutscene, but it's not actually Lugia because it's a cow. So I Master Ball it because I like cows. Garfano tries to fight me one more time, but I'm angry about how he killed my dog. So Crobat can one-shot his Sneasel with U-turn, and Gengar can kill the Kadabra and the Haunter with Shadow Ball. However, the fight's already kind of over because we can Thunderbolt the Golbat and then send in Golem on the Magneton and Earthquake it and the Typhlosion to easily knock him down to second individual. Fucking mid-Phono, bro. Sheesh! Peep the Elite Four team. Magneton, Crobat, Gyarados, Kabutops, Golem, and Gengar. This is basically the Gen 1 team, but I don't care. The Psychic dude is called Pi, and he's pretty easy, because Gengar can easily Shadow Ball his Xatu and Jinx after living a Psychic thanks to our handy Focus Sash. Magneton can Thunderbolt down the Slowbro, and we also chip away at the eggs with Flash Cannon. Finally, we barely take a Xatu Psychic and we can finish it off shortly after. That's an easy Pi sweep. Koga's back, getting revenge when we Dug Trio sweeped him, but Crobat easily burns all of his potions and beats the Ariados thanks to Fly. Magneton tanks Venomoth's Psychics and two-shots it with Thunderbolt thankfully, as Gengar comes in against the Fortress as we safely wall it, as he sends in Crobat on a Shadow Ball. Golem easily Rock Blast the Crobat to its grave as Gengar walls out the Fortress once again, and then Gengar can easily also finish off the Muck for its minimized with Shadow Balls. Bruno is back with his terrifying Onix, however we Dragon Dance up on the Hitmontop with our Gyarados and then Aqua Tail it to its grave until we get Flame Bodies, because why wouldn't we? However, the Onix actually also just dies to Aqua Tail. We need to swap out of Hitmonchan's Thunder Punch, pivoting into Magneton into Gengar, and we get to burn it ourselves, easily beating it now with Gengar Shadow Pulp Balls. We send in Kabutops on the Blaze Kick, then into Crobat on the Fighting move for some incredible pivoting, and then we fly to kill it, and then do the same for Machamp shortly after. Finally, as a retail worker, the real final boss is Karen. She hard swaps her Umbreon out to my Gengar, so we just take the kill with Shadow Ball, and then burn the Murkrow. But it turns out, we just one-shot with Thunderbolt anyways. So it turns out, Houndoom is kind of crazy with Dark Pulse, because if you look at my team, I don't really have a Dark Resist. However, Crobat managed to tank one and get a Fly off. And then... Flame throws more damage. Wait, what? Take a deal with the devil and U-turn into Gyarados praying for a flamethrower, which works. We get the Aqua Tail to finish it off. Magneton walls out Vileplume with Flash Cannon, and then Kabutops finishes off Umbreon thanks to Waterfall. It's time for Lance, and this fight is really scary. Magneton gets a clean kill onto Gyarados after getting flinched, because of course we do, so our Magneton is actually out of commission for this fight, which is really annoying. We send Gyarados in on the Charizard Air Slash and Dragon Dance into Aqua Tail after dodging the flinch and landing him a hit. Aerodactyl thinks he's the man, but our Golem tanks all the hits and kills with Stone Edge, as one of his 3 Dragonites hits the field. I know this is the Blizzard one due to AI mechanics, so I send in Kabutops, who takes a gazillion% from Dragon Rush as we get a Rock Slide off. However, Charizard's Snow Warning actually ends up knocking me out. And that's a hill. Gengar can come in as it heals to finish it off with 2 Shadow Balls, as the second Dragonite with Outrage comes in. However, we get a Will-O-Wisp off, having its Outrage damage be halved and tanking it barely. Crobat tries to beat it, but he spams OP healing and Crobat goes down to a Fire Blast. This guy is actually mickier than Kaifano somehow. Once again, Gengar finishes it off and gets a Will-O-Wisp off on the last Dragonite, and we actually have to sack it to a Dragon Rush shortly after. Miss Thunder. Miss it! Damn it! This guy is one more potion because of course he does, while the Golem Stone Edge barely doesn't kill, but the Goated Snow Warning finishes it off, and that was really fucking hard, but it was actually quite fun. Our starter options for this game were more clear-cut, being Bellsprout, Nidoran, and Squirtle. The choice is pretty obvious here. We beat up May for the first of many times, mainly out of spite, because we aren't able to name her after one of my idiot friends. My first encounters do kinda suck for this one, however, being a Whismur, a Poochyena, a Metapod, a Zigzagoon, a Gulpin, and finally a Slugma. Never mind. We also managed to kill one of our Pokemon in the first 5 seconds of this game, with our Whismur dying because I wasn't paying attention to a Bide Seedot. Fortunately, we have a much easier time with the first Rock Gym Leader as opposed to Fire Red, thanks to our Squirtle packing a mean Water Gun, easily killing her 2 Geodudes and swiftly removing her Nosepass shortly after. We get a bunch of encounters after this, but I don't really care about many of them, apart from Houndour, thanks to its early evolve level. Now, Brawly is pretty simple on paper. Butterfree easily kills Machop with confusion, and then like a complete idiot I am, I forget how Focus Punch works and I think it doesn't work if you don't attack, so my plan to spam Withdraw on it with War Turtle really doesn't go as planned. And to make matters even worse, the random ability it rolled was Water Absorb, meaning it can get one more Focus Punch off. After getting rid of it with Bite, Butterfree can come in and easily finish off Makuhita with one more Confusion. Not bad. We get a thing from Steven. I don't really know, I wasn't really paying attention to the story, because I have like 7 games to get through here. Also, we get another Weedle. Yippee! May gets folded once again, with minimal damage, using a mix of the Gulpin for Lombre, Butterfree for Marshtomp, and Wartortle for Slugma. Nice. We get 2 more hype encounters, a Makuhita, who evolves early, and an Intimidate Bulbasaur, which I can't show my real reaction to, because it does just sound like I moaned, and that's paid content only. Okay, pretend I didn't say that, because I have to fight Watson now, and Ferret easily puts down his small dog with Fury Swipes. Magneton looks threatening because of Sonic Boom, but Hariyama has a massive HP stat, and one-shots it with Vital Throw. And Manectric is easily walled out by our Ivysaur. Take that, the elderly population. Oh my god. You know, I never really realised how many encounters Pokemon Emerald really gives you. I mean, look at all these useless encounters that will never see the light of day again. Oh hey, a Swinub! Oh hey, a Maxie! Oh hey, he fucking died. God, I hate climate activists. I won't lie, I was initially afraid of Frannery at first, because of our overheat white herb strategy, but it turns out Pelipper is a god and genuinely kills all of her mons with Water Gun, the Numel, the Slugma, the Camerupt, and even the Torkoal, and it only takes minimal damage in the process. This mon is crazy. I was so afraid of this, and for what? For Pelipper to just fucking destroy it? Okay, whatever. Another gym leader back to back, and it's a scary one, because it's Norman, and I have no normal resist. Ferret slowly beats down the Spinder thanks to Flame Body burning it. Then the big bad Slacking comes in, and at the time I didn't remember that abilities are randomized, so right now this Slacking does not have True On, so when I sent in my Protect Pelipper to cheese it out, bro was flabbergasted when I get Facaded into next week. I am forced to send in Hariyama to do massive damage to it, however I can't risk a crit, and I'm forced to sacrifice Butterfree and kill the Slacking with Fake Out with Hariyama afterwards. Soon after, Vigoroth also goes down to a Vital Throw, as my overlay starts to glitch out for no reason. The Linoon at the end is very scary because my whole team is weakened and it has Belly Drum. I tried to beat it with Houndoom, to no avail, but fortunately, Ferret can take one more slash and kill thanks to Fury Swipes into Quick Attack. So I guess that was the dad talk he wanted to have with me. Well, we did! Yada yada, more sleeper encounters go by, the same old. Beat up the Team Aqua admin Shelly, it's pretty hard in the YouTube series. And then also beat up May using literally 2 Pokemon and Hariyama and Ivysaur because this is probably the easiest rival ever. Beating May also blesses me with a Totodile encounter and using my Ralts encounter that I forgot to record a while ago. Guys, you have to trust me on this one. We walk up to challenge Winona, and it goes quite swell, I'd say. That was an unintentional pun. Gardevoir just stacks Calm Minds as Swablu spams Mirror Move, and then I can Psychic the Swablu to kill, Psychic the Tropius, Shockwave the Pelipper and the Skarmory, and then Psychic the Altaria to easily win. People say this is the hardest fight of this game. What? Why? We get a Pineco, which funnily enough, I decide to Master Ball so it doesn't explode on me because I got one earlier. And then I get to fight Maxi, who's trying to awake Groudon like a bit of a silly guy. But once again, it's the same old, same old. Hariyama gets to beat Mightyena, Houndoom beats Crobat with help from Piloswine, oh shit, I almost died, and Blastoise kills Camerupt after taking a crit takedown. I messed up by being so leveled for that. Underleveled. I'm pretty sure this is actually our last May fight, which, thank God, because we literally just sweep her again with Calm Mind Gardevoir. We get an incredible Blaziken encounter in the Aqua base, which I later learn on has huge power as an ability. And let me just say, thank God it's not November anymore. We abuse Team Aqua some more because they actually just suck. Grab plenty more meaningless encounters, including a Ghastly, and Unknown, because thank God the run is saved. Tate and Liza are easily the hardest fight in this game. It gave me a real run for my money. I spam Blizzard with my lead Dugong and Azumarill, and I realise it literally does 0 damage. Eventually, they both go down to bring out the threatening Solrock and Lunatone duo. I send in Blastoise to tank some hits and start to spam Surf with both. Blastoise can cause a weather war thanks to Rain Dance, however Dugong unfortunately does kind of get sacrificed to Psychic for Mr. Cake himself to finish the job for me. God, I hate kids. I beat up Maxi for a last time with help from Stephen Stone himself. I fight Archie as well, who is so incredibly easy to beat, I'm not even gonna show him. Yeah, fuck you, Archie. So remember that Slugma that we kind of failed, like really out on the run? Guess who's back? Let's fucking go. Oh, and a Bayleaf, I guess. Anyways, the world starts ending until one of those like stone worm things you find in like the stores yells at the two guys to shut the fuck up, and the world's climate is resolved. That's Pokemon story for you. The final gym leader of this game, who won, once again gets swept by Calm Mind Gardevoir, because he decides to leave with a Love Disc, who is easy setup fodder. Also, our final encounter for this run is an actual Elite Four Mon in Lantern. Quick Elite Four recap, we have 3 starters, Venusaur, Blaziken and Blastoise, Houndoom, Gardevoir and Lantern. The overlay shows 2 Gardevoirs for the first fight, just ignore it, it's very goofy. We easily sweep Sydney with huge power Blaziken, double kicks thanks to Bulk Up. Not even needing 2 kicks for all of his mons. Thanks, Sydney. Very cool. Nice. That's the first one done. Agatha 2 is slightly more tricky. Our Venusaur can Leech Seed stall the Dusclops thanks to Intimidate. Our Houndoom can eviscerate Banette with an Overheat. Blastoise can Toxic the Dusclops and let Houndoom kill it with Overheat. Venusaur can once again Leech Seed stall the second Dusclops, and Lantern easily drowns the second Banette thanks to its weak attacks. Lorelei 2 is here, and once again, we have a huge power double-kicking Blaziken that one-shots our entire team because clearly randomized abilities is a really good idea. I try to sweep Drake with Blaziken, but his Flygon immediately hits the field and destroys me with an Earthquake. Thankfully, we get to kill it afterwards. Altaria is super annoying to my team, so I'm willing to sack Blaziken here. I quick attack twice to get into the red after it Dragon Dances and let it go down, because I mean the champion is literally the water guy. I do not need Blaziken. Blastoise somehow outspeeds +1 Altaria and destroys it with Blizzard. That makes no sense. Also, I get to Toxic Stall the Kingdra down thanks to Blastoise's incredible bulk, and Salamence goes down to a Blizzard from Lantern. That was not bad. Time for us to face Wallace, and this could be scary. I go for the Toxic Storm and lead Wailord with Blastoise, and send in Houndoom as Double Edge does way too much damage to my Blastoise, and I need the HP for later on. And now, 1,000 people collectively cry because a dog dies on screen. It was the only way, guys, I swear. Lantern actually tanks an Earthquake from Gyarados and shocks it back with Thunderbolt, and Ludicolo gets Sludge Bombed into its grave by Venusaur. His ace, Milotic, tries to stand up to Venusaur, but with Sleep Powder, Leech Seed and Giga Drain, it's just an easy win for us. Next up, Tentacruel comes out. And not even Tentacruel can stop Venusaur's rampage, as she kills it. Wallace brings out his final out, his trump card. It's a Wish Cash. So yeah, that's how I beat Pokemon Emerald. Honestly, a decently challenging game. On to Gen 4. For Generation 4, the starter choice was actually not as clear-cut as it seems, with Magnemite, Chimchar and Aron all being really good starter choices. Eventually I settled on Chimchar because I'm a basic bitch, and if you've ever watched my Renegade Platinum video, you would know that Infernape is really damn strong. We spam A on our first fight with our new rival, Bugcatcher Wraith, and are ready to get the motherload of encounters, in which I'll only bring up the important ones. We get a Spearow, who is useful because it evolves early, a Riolo, who we can evolve immediately by legal methods, a Hippopotamus, who is underrated, and why not? Who I decided not to use. Wraith gets his 2 silly little birds beaten up again, and we can immediately move on to Rourke, in which Lombre gets to beat down the Geodude and Onix with quad effective absorbs, and then Lucario can easily decimate the Cranidos thanks to its dumb OP stats and good move and Force Palm. Pretty easy. We get the best encounter possible, which completely saves this run, and then move on to fight Mars, who is usually tricky, but like, I have a Lucario, who shits on Zubat and the usually scary diabetic cat due to its handy steel typing. I get some dope encounters, mainly being Stunky, a Beldum, and a Vibrava, and after venturing through a ton of forest with a MILF, I mean Cheryl, I'm ready to fight Gardenia. I kinda thought the gym leaders in this game would give a bit more challenge, with a Turtwig sets up the Sun for Monferno, meaning Flamewheel can kinda just sweep through it, as well as her Cherrim and even her Ace Roserade, who only has Poison Sting. Nice one, coconut head looking ass. Jupiter is directly after in the Eterna Galactic base, and a simple combo of Matang and Lucario put down her Zubat and once again, usually scary Skuntank. Guess Lucario is just that useful. We get ourselves a Mime Jr. and a Haunter just in time to face Fantina. God, if only it was that easy. Yeah, our Wayward Cave encounter, it was a Geodude and it kinda just exploded and completely nuked my Lombre. Oh, okay. I really should have expected that. Okay, so Fantina is actually the hardest gym in this game. However, Lucario easily bones the Duskull. Wait a second. Thero comes in and lays down Miss Magius, and then crits with an aerial ace anyways, for that clean one-shot. And then Thero and Hippopotamus finishes off the Haunter with bites. I feel like that was meant to be difficult. I accidentally walked into the next Wraith fight, but his team is just so easily counterable due to the lack of coverage moves by this point, so it's easy. Just stop trying. We get some moderately exciting encounters, mainly being Shelgon, a Zubat, and a Scorupai in the run-up to Maylene, who is actually pretty easy due to our new Mr. Mime. We set up a Reflect, and then thanks to the TMs and Veilstone, we also have Psychic, which destroys Meditite and Machoke and does big damage to Lucario, but it just does a bit too much damage. So I end up pivoting into Monferno to bait Drain Punch, then to Crobat to finish it off with a Wing Attack. Did not expect that. We get a whole new world after this one, which means a whole new bunch of encounters. Mainly Kalia, the Carmine Goat from Emerald, Tangela, who actually gets her Evo in this gen, and Wartortle, who is freaking Drizzle, which is crazy good. I always get the vibes that Crash Awake feels kind of like Andrew Tate. Or is that just me? Oh right, the fight. Well, Gyarados kind of seems scary in prep because of my lack of an electric type, but Gardevoir can use the Thunderbolt TM to KO it, and then my physical tank Tangrowth easily sits on Quagsire and Floatzel with Mega Drain spam. As weak as that move is, Tangrowth's insane bulk will just make up for it. We make a quick detour up to Celestic Town to fight Cyrus, who is super easy in his first 2 fights that I'm not even going to cover it that much. The same can be said for my next Wraith fight, whose Staraptor is scary and actually whistles down my Hippo quite quickly, but Crobat is just too fast for it. Rapidash gets destroyed by the Drizzle Blastoise thanks to Surf, Crobat walls out Roserade completely and flies on it, and once again finally in on Empoleon, that ship has sailed. Literally, I mean, we're literally guys, you get the gist. Now, if you've ever watched my Renegade Platinum video, which you should have, you should know how easy Byron is. Earthquake shreds through Magneton and Steelix with complete ease. We play around Bastiodon's Metal Burst by yawning it and then Aura Sphering it to hell with Lucario. Nice. We take on an easy assassin fight and shortly after Mars falls with him, because for people who are threatening the universe, you'd at least think they would have evolved their Bronzors by now. One small snake worm goes by before we fight... Wait, what's her name again? Guys, please let me know in the comments. Anyways, we let the dogs out with this one, and I don't mean my feet for once, because Houndoom flamethrowers all 4 of our ice types into a crisp, even hitting through Frostlass's double team. Nice one, Candice Ball. Wait. Our Cyrus fight actually gives us some trouble, as the Honchkrow hits too hard even for my Hippowdon, and Crobat almost dies to a crit drill peck to the face. We have to pivot a lot, and I mean a lot, to get Infernape in on a feint attack to nail the Mafia Bud with a close combat. Mars and Jupiter have a double battle with me, with my buddy old pal Wraith. He sucks. However, this fight is just too long and too tedious, and it was really easy to overcome due to our powerful team, so I won't even really go over it. Cyrus, being the perfectly rational being he is, just decides to summon the beings of time and space. But the beings of time and space kind of say fuck you to Cyrus, and it's, then the Powerpuff Girls show up. We take a weird trip through the Shadow Realm, as any 10-year-old kind of does, and walk up to challenge Cyrus one last time in one of the hardest fights of this game. Infernape moiders the Houndoom into its grave, and the Gyarados was actually kind of scary in prep, until I brought a Pecha Berry natural gift Tangrowth, which turns it into a physical electric move. And then it doesn't kill! I then also found out that natural gift only works on the first turn it's used, so I'm in a pretty sticky situation here. He then heals up his Gyarados, which is bullshit, and Crobat comes in on an Earthquake and crits it with Fly. Oh my god. So here I am, under the impression that Crobat, who is 130 base speed, would outspeed the 125 base speed Weavile. Because I take math, I feel like I should know that. Oh, you're turning out of this. It outspeeds me. We tanked it! Wait, what? But no! Somehow, my Crobat has to take an Ice Punch and then U-turn out into Infernape. I don't understand how we took that so well, but we did. Metagross Psychics Crobat really easily, and then he hella predicts my Lucario switch by using Heat Wave instead of the predicted Dark move. Fuck you. He heals one more time, and once I get Lucario in on it once more, we Aura Sphere it. And then... yeah, okay. I mean... I think that was the only way we got out of that alive, right? So... After fighting the Satan that is Cyrus, I walked up to Giratina and... The answer is yes, it is randomized. I have to defeat Volkner here. Nidoking Earth powers the Jolteon, and Hippowdon destroys his scariest mon Electivire with a clean Earthquake. Raichu tries to focus miss me, but Nidoking walls out easily. And wait, why do I have a Combee on my team? Goodbye, Combee. You were a real one. Thanks to the brave Combee sacrifice, Hippowdon can easily come back in and Earthquake the Luxury. I just can't celebrate this victory though, because we lost a real soldier. Wraith tries to prove that he's not completely useless once more, and Sudowoodo can tank a close combat, and then we miss. Crobat can easily finish off the -2 defense Staraptor. As well as this, Lucario just hangs on to revenge the Snorlax in the anguish of Combee's death. Crobat drops down on Roserade Heracross and Rapidash like the goat she is, and then Pharaoh can chip down the Empoleon until it dies. Quick E4 team recap, boom, look it's broken, okay bug guy time, we have a lot to go through here. Dragonite can easily kill Yanmega for a solid start, and Blastoise gets the advantage on Drapion due to its sheer bulk and rain boosted surfs. For Heracross, we pivot Tangrowth into Dragonite, however Megapon crit does over half somehow, so Infernape has to finish the job with some help from Hippowdon. Infernape also destroys Scizor with Flamethrower and Vespiquen. Oh god, Combee's final wrath. Yeah, it also gets destroyed by Infernape. That's one. The old ass woman is next, and Tangrowth makes a pit stop to destroy Whiscash, and then we pivot into Blastoise to destroy Gliscor with an Ice Beam after taking an Earthquake. However, she has no idea that this fight is already over, as Surf Blastoise trenches Golem, Rhyperior, and Hippowdon to finish the job thanks to the rain. Flint was fairly easy too. Infernape destroys the Houndoom, and then Dragonite spams Dragon Dance on the Infernape, tanking Flare Blitzes, and then sweeping through Infernape, Magmortar, Flareon, and Rapidash, thanks to the +2 flies going on a massacre. It's here where I realised that Dragon Dance Dragonite might be a bit broken. As I'm going to cut to the chase, Lucian gets swept too. His Mr. Mime is super useless because it does like 0 damage, so we stack up Dragon Dances and then sweep through the rest of his team with ease. I have the idea that Dragonite might be able to Dragon Dance sweep this one too. So we actually managed to take out the Spiritomb, Lucario, and her fucking Garchomp. I mean, what? My goat? Anyways, we kind of missed Dragon Rush on my low tick, and we get Ice Beamed into the Shadow Realm for our 4th death of the run. Sad. And then we have the clutchest live of our life. And I mean, you guys have to see this one. Just gonna heal. Oh my god. We can finally get Infernape in on an Ice Beam and then close combat it to a Pulp. As well as this, Metagross Meteor Mash can take down the Togekiss thanks to a handy crit. Finally, we can send an Infernape in on a Shadow Ball and Flare Blitz the Roserade and finish off the best game in the series. And guys, it was a fun one. Now annoyingly for this game, you can't really see the starter choices on screen, but they were Abra, Mareep and Mudkip. Now, the best choice here would obviously be Mudkip or Abra, however I love Mareep so much that I decided to pick it instead, which is actually quite funny because its ability turns out to be Illusion, which I actually never really used to its fullest potential. Once again, our stupid rivals are nameless, so I bash their pets in until they pass out from blood loss and carry on with my day. We don't get too many encounter options unlike the other games before the first gym, so we end up getting a Bronzor who is really good and a Trapinch who is just alright. After beating up N and his dumb cat for the first time, we also fight Bianca and Cherin one more time, and they go down with ease. Our Gift Monkey is replaced by a Snivy, who is very exciting, and we're ready for the first gym against Cress. We eat his small helpless dog, which kills with a critical hit, and then Pampole comes in, but it's an easy switch to Snivy, to take the Water Gun and kill with 2 Vine Whips shortly after. Nice. After this, we watch Team Plasma kick a literal fetus, so we claim ourselves as proud pro-lifers and kill it. For legal reasons, that is a joke. We fight Charon again, but I'm not going to cover it because he's free, and we move on to get Spearow once again, as well as a Spheal and another male Carlia, in which I have to pick whether to go Gardevoir or try and find a Dawnstone. N fights us again, but Fluffy easily kills most of his team before our Adaptability Carlia can kill off the Timber. These easy fights are all just the run-up to Lenora, who is actually rather scary because of her powerful Retaliates and her crazy coverage. We paralyze the Hardier with our Fluffy, and then chip it down with Fearow's Aerial Aces. However, that was the easy part, because the big tall rat guy comes in, and Bronzor has to switch into a boosted Retaliate, and Servine can Leech Seed stall it with Leaf Tornado to finish it off with ease after switching into a Crunch. That was surprisingly deathless. Team Plasma steal the skull emoji, and as a member of Team Racist, I kinda need that back, so I kill their rats all with ease. We go across a massive bridge and into Detroit, while catching a small bomb for our next gym fight. Probably not a good place to catch a bomb. Some Team Plasma shenanigans later, and it's Bird time, who should be very easy, because he's the Bug-type trainer, and Bug-types are all shit. Thanks to our plot armor, we find a Rock Slide TM before this, so Trapinch barely holds on versus Whirlipede and crushes it with rocks. Livani is easily beaten by our Fearow with a 4-time super effective Aerial Ace, and then double falls to a mix of our Voltorb, Bronzor, and our Illusion Fluffy to win us the badge easily. I accidentally walk into the next Bianca fight unprepared, however we have very little issue with it and triumph easily. Yeah, all this boring shit, because Charon's pretty easy, thanks to our Fearow, and we grab ourselves another Dratini. It feels like every game at this point. But we also get a Ferroseed, who would be amazing if it didn't have weak armor, which makes 0 sense of this Pokemon, but offensive Theraphorn, let's go. N can usually be quite scary because he does have a Sigilif, which hits really hard this early in the game, but our Bronzor walls it, and also has Rock Slide, so oh well. We make our Spheal a massive pimp in the required minigame because I, kind of felt bored. As many good mons as Gen 5 did bring, it also brought a lot of shit mons. So before this, we actually go and face Elisa with our literal Little Cup team. What the fuck? Thanks to our Ice Beam TM, it honestly seems scripted at this point, but trust me, it's not. Our Sphere with a Wakan Berry can easily knock Emolga down to its Sturdy, which sucks a lot because it can Volt Switch into its other Emolga. Voltorb unfortunately gets crit on the Volt Switch as Zebstrika comes in, so I send in Dratini to do some damage with Dragon Rage. When Dratini gets too low, Trapinch can easily come in on a Spark and easily finish it off thanks to Sand Tomb. From here on out, Bronzor easily finishes off the 2 flying rats, which by the way, Emolga is actually my least favourite Pokemon. I hate it so much, and yes, I'm going to rant about this now. It's so ugly and I hate it. Don't crit. Oh, easy, bro. Let's go! We actually managed to find a Dawnstone, so we get to use my favourite Pokemon in Gallade, because I didn't feel like using Gardevoir again. Unfortunately, it does lose adaptability, but I can survive. We get a Magnemite before Clay, which we will definitely use, yep. And after we clear out the cold storage, and we get ready for a really hard fight. Our Livani easily shots Krokorok with Bug Bite, and we send in our Choice Band Gallade on a Rock Slide, and then nail it with a Brick Break to one-shot the Excadrill. And the Palpitoad shortly after. Yeah, so much for a hard fight, bro. This is free. Pretty good, I'd say. Oh, that's pretty easy. Cool encounter time. Boldot, Umbreon, and a Riolu once again. Let's go. and tries to fight again, but he gets swept by Gallade with a mix of Rock Slide and Brick Break, so he's kind of easy as per usual. Skylar is about to get nuked due to my incredible planning. I actually have a Chlorophyll Magnezone, and Bronzong can learn Sunny Day from the Mover Learner, so we set it up on the Swoobat with help from the Heat Rock. Unfortunately, we do have to kill it with Bronzong, it just does start to stack Amnesias, but when Swirler comes out, Magnezone can easily come in on the weakened Water move and Electro Ball it and the Unpheasant thanks to the boosted speed. Oh, bro, it's too easy, man. I'm telling you. Oh, sorry, did I miss something? Oh, that was Charon. There isn't actually that much between this gym and the last one, just a cool Frolic encounter is all that I can really note. The Ice Guy is here, and Lucario Swords dances up on the Vanillish as it heals, and then we Force Pump it to kill, as well as the Bear Tick, and we have to tank an Aurora Beam to finish off the Cryogonal too. Thanks, Bryson, very cool. We get a Monkey before our final fight with Bianca. Gallade can destroy the Stout Land with Brick Break, and then Superior comes in and starts stacking coils on me, which is actually pretty scary. She now has 4 coils up, which is actually really bad. However, we can send in Magnezone, and since the AI sees that she has a Volt Absorb Pokemon, she sends in her Simipour to tank the Thunder. However, Jellicent can easily wall out the Monkey Guy, and our Superior can finish off hers with our own Leaf Blade to finish off the battle. His Fracture has Imposter, don't make the joke, don't make the joke, don't make the joke, into our Warrain, which actually is really not ideal. We try to beat it 1v1 with Rock Slide, but when he has potions and I don't, it's kind of an uphill battle. Magnezone fortunately can come in and thunder it to death, as the actually scary Druddigon, thanks to Revenge, comes in. It actually wears down my Bronzong surprisingly fast, and I'm pressured to use Dragonite on it, coming in on a Revenge and killing with Dragon Tail. Then his Haxorus also imposters my Dragonite and is threatening to kill me with Ice Beam, so I pivot into Lucario, who takes a truck ton as we barely live an Aqua Tail and get a Screech off. Therathorn starts to lose the 1v1, and I get predicted so hard when I try and send in Walrein in on an Ice Beam, and he randomly picks to Dragon Tail me back into Therathorn, who has to tank another Ice Beam. Once again, he somehow predicts me perfectly as I go into Magnezone, because he Aqua Tails instead of Ice Beams. But Magnezone can barely take one and kill back with Magnet Bomb. I mean, that was really close, but somehow we've done all of the gym leaders deathless. Our final Charon fight is really smooth. Magnezone thunders Pheasant, Jellicent scalds Simister, Lucario Force Punch Liepard, and Superior Leaf Blade Samurott for the effortless win. Our final encounters of the run are realistically nothing of note, as we make our Elite 4 team specialised for the Elite 4 and not N and Getsis, because this is the very unique game where we get to swap teams between these fights. I decide to fight Marshall first, so I can get Aura Sphere on my Lucario later on, so I can use it for Grimsley. And we can kill Throw with Fly after taking a Stone Edge with ease, and sending in Bronzong to deal with Sork, thanks to our powerful Psychics. Conkeldurr should be pretty scary, however Jellicent with Will-O-Wisp, Hex, and Recover easily takes it out due to its lack of a Dark move. Thank God it does not have Guts. We dodge a crit from Mienshao and get to whistle it down with our Jellicent too for a clean victory. God, I hope the rest of the fights are as easy as this. Caitlyn is unfortunately a lot harder. Choice Band Gallade with Night Slash barely wins against a Reuniclus and burns her 2 potions. Gallade can barely survive a Shadow Ball from Musharna due to that fat Spadef stack and finish it off easily. Bronzong, however, is no match for the Sigilif as it does have Shadow Ball. We finish it off from Dark Pulse from Lucario as Goth Girl Bitch shows up, and we miss about 50 Dragon Rushes with Dragonite because fuck you, I hate you. I realise I don't need Jellicent anymore, so I get one more Hex off and sack it off to break the flawless run. Gallade can finish it off, however, nice and quickly with a Night Slash, and that was pretty hard. Grimsley I thought would be hard, however Choice Band Gallade can easily one-shot the Scrafty with Brick Break, and we get to go Lucario on Liepard's Fake Out and can easily kill with its newly learned Aura Sphere. Crocodile's the scary one, however Dragonite barely wins the 1v1 with Ice Beam, tanking Dragon Claws easily. Finally, Lucario can swap in on the Bishop's X-Scissor and picks it off with a quad-effective Aura Sphere. That was a nice change of pace. Chantal is also very scary, however Combine Lucario can easily beat the Cofagrigus thanks to Dark Pulse. I'm afraid Chandelure might outspeed me because I genuinely have no idea what my IVs are, so I make the safe switch into Dragonite on the Fire Blast. Shadow Ball does a shit ton to Dragonite, however we barely clutch up with Aqua Tail due to Dragonite's sheer bulk. As well as this, Umbreon can finally do something and walls out Jellicent thanks to its crazy bulk. And Umbreon tanked a Golok Brick Break from half health, so we get some chip off of it and then can send in Gallade to finish it off with Night Slash. Wow, that was impressive. So N first, and he leads with a Zekrom. However, it actually has no Dragon moves, so we can beat him by our Flygon with a mix of Dragon Claw and Bulldoze. Lucario takes a lot more than Blizzard than I originally thought, but then I remember that fighting doesn't resist Ice, and Aura Sphere can finish it off. Gallade unfortunately comes in on a Night Slash when I was hoping for a Focus Blast or Flamethrower. However, our Effect Spore saves our ass, so we can outspeed and kill with Brick Break. Maybe we didn't need adaptability after all. I thought that we could outspeed Kling Clang, however we don't. But it actually misses Gear Grind, and my Glade gets some main character shit going on here. What the hell? Magnezone can destroy the Archeops with Discharge and the Caracosta shortly after. So we actually managed to end out with N barely deathless. So to my surprise, we fight Getsis with our N counter team. So this is going to be test on my on-the-fly skill instead of my preparation, and well, you'll just see what happens. We chip down Cthulhu with our Flygon before immediately deciding we need to sack Bronzong due to my 0 ghost resists, and it's the least useful mon in this fight. This lets us get Lucario in to stack Calm Minds and finish it off with a Dark Pulse, as well as his ace, Hydreigon, shortly after, from somehow taking a Focus Blast with 2 HP and killing back with an Aura Sphere. God, I love this Pokemon. We take the risk and go for the kill on Bouffalant, even if I don't know if we outspeed. Thankfully, we do. Seismitoad tanks a +2 Aura Sphere unfortunately, and Lucario is lost to an Earthquake. However, we can send in Gallade to tank a hit and then kill with Psychopath. God, I love this Pokemon! We managed to get the Magnezone in on an Acrobatics from Electros, tank a Flamethrower, and then destroy it thanks to our clutch Miracle. Thank fuck I didn't remove that from our moveset. We finally have to suck one more Pokemon, and Magnezone falls to Bishop. But we can send in our Darmanitan shortly after to finish this fight with a mean Fire Punch. Die! And that's Pokemon Black. I mean, it's quite sad because we were deathless up until the Elite Four, and then we lose 4 Pokemon in that run-up, but, you know, it could have gone a lot worse, to say the least. Pokemon X time. Woo, yippee, yay, I love this game. Look at these cool starters, I bet you can guess which one I picked. We start by fighting this random girl, you know, the nameless rival number 1, and we discover that we have Snow Warning on Magnemite, meaning this game is going to take 10 times as long. We learn about how to catch Pokemon for the 50th time this video, and then we get to catch a Dino of our own, which I was very excited about because it does have Dragon Rage. However, I did want to avoid using it early game. I get the Gen 6 starter Fennekin, as well as a Beldum, which are all stick encounters, and I fight through some of the children in the forest and steal their cash. We get some rollerblades in the city and are ready to fight Viola, who is the bug lady, but do I really even have to show this? Her bug types are no match for my Magnemite, who can easily Thundershock the Surskit, and when Vivillon tries to infestate me, Magnemite is easily the GOAT and finishes it off. We get the best Pokemon Ladybur, and we Dragon Rage through Sycamore with Dino to get our 3 starter Pokemon, to which they all suck, so I'm going to pick Duskull just because it's useful for the Ghost typing. We interestingly get a Sliggoo here, and we stroll through the city to fight this rival guy, but I don't remember his name, and he also has 1 Pokemon, so he's kind of freelo. We grab a Zora and get to chase this random dog through a maze. Yes, this game is so fun! We go on a cute date with a hoe as per usual, and then I just carry on my life, leaving her on red. And by carry on with my life, I mean wake up the Snorlax for our encounter, which is a Cobalion with Levitate. Yeah, I'm using this. Fuck you, comment section. I don't care. This is actually the last game I played, and I couldn't be bothered, so yeah. Also, we do end up sacking Beldum just to ensure that we get this, but it's fine. Didn't need him anyways. He's bad. We show my new friends this cool new Pokemon I found on the last route, and then more of their Pokemon. Also, we catch a Makuhita. Look at him. He's a little small guy. He's a little small little guy. I get the VGC Goat Murkrow next, and these encounters are just not missing, because I also get a Squirtle next. No drizzle though, this game is stupid. We have our first run-in with Team Flare, but they're the midgest evil team of all time, and even in a double battle, we just destroy them. At long last, we go through the rock gym and are ready to fight the Goat Rourke. I mean Brock, I mean Grant, I mean that guy. Grant shows me his revived dead Pokemon in Amora, but Magnemite can easily put them right back where they belong with a Mirror Shot, and the little dinosaur comes out afterwards. But then I just send out my Cobalion, and wow, would you look at that, I already have the second gym badge. This game is easy. Karina tries to fight me with her 2 Lucario, but I have a superior fighting steel type, who easily eats the power-up punches due to his impressive bulk. We enter a horde battle and see a little frog guy, yeah, that's a frog, and we catch him, and then we fight Serenara again. She's easy though. Breaks him for Meowstic with Ember, Grottle shows he's the superior frog with Razor Leaf, and Cobalion for Absol with Double Kick. Clearly not wife material. Oh boy, we get a Dwebble, and now we have to fight Karina for real, but this shouldn't be too hard because our team is looking pretty stacked. Her Mienfoo can physically not hit Dusclops to infestate it and Nightshade it down, as well as infesting the Machoke. Torterra can pivot in on a Rock Tomb and immediately Earthquake it. Oh my god, why do we have Earthquake so early? Finally, Hawlucha is her ace, but even though Flying Press is also a flying move, it still can't hit Ghost types, so it's just another easy win for the dead community. If you thought we were done with Karina, you are wrong, but this time, she has a Mega Lucario. However, when she gives us her Lucario to fight with, we get Mega, Abomasnow. That's like the worst thing I could have physically gotten. Also, we actually lose our run, LMAO GG, no. Serenara is back, but she's still freelo, and the plan is pretty much exactly the same, so I don't want to bore you with the details. What I will bore you with instead though is the goat Ramos. His jump loop could be scary with 110 base power acrobatics, but Crustle is a physical tank and can rock slide it. But then it turns out a Pokemon with weak special defense, neutrality to grass moves, and is very heavy will just almost die to Grass Knot. Legend can chip away at it and then set up the light screen before we go Breakson to finish it off with an Ember. Go-Goat then is no match for my Mega Abomasnow, never mind it took like 1,000,000,000% from takedown, but we still win thanks to Ice Shard. This is a terrible Pokemon. We find a homeless little Scrimblow Blimblow, and then fight a bunch of Team Flare clones. And I mean a bunch. And then we get to kill this girl's dog like Carfano did to mine. Never forget. Look at this little nerd guy. I mean, our Claydol can easily beat Emolga with thanks to Rock Tomb, and the Helios threatens me with a Grass Knot. However, Abomasnow can easily come in, Mega, and then slam it with a Wood Hammer because we finally have a decent move on it. Finally, Torterra can easily come in on the Magneton and Earthquake it to death. You know what? Maybe Obama ain't so bad after all. So fun fact, we actually have a Blastoise tonight from Sycamore, and so we can Mega Evolve our Water that we previously got, and it has Protean when it Megas. So for Serendipity, we Aqua Tail the Meowstic, and then, say it with me, Cobalion beats Absol, Abomasnow beats Greninja, and oh wait, that's it. We finally get a Fairy type in Flabébé, which almost kills my Blastoise with Petal Blizzard, and then we also grab another Gen 1 starter in Bulbasaur. Yippee yay, let's go! Next up, Smash, and I got to evolve Magneton into Magnezone for this gym. Cobalion can Sacred Sword Mawile, which is an easy 2-hit KO, and we Iron Head into Mr. Mime, but it ends up paralyzing me. I switch out into Magnezone to not lose to Power Hacks, as Cobalion actually doesn't resist Fairy, and Magnezone can easily Flash Cannon Sylveon to kill the Wait, what the fuck? So we put Magnezone in the box for controversial reasons, and then we do a double battle with Serena, where Torterra commits mass genocide in the Balls Factory. An Imposter Natu in the next encounter, because all the other options were pretty bad. Yay, Team Flare admins, they're so hard and challenging. Dude, what happened to evil teams, man? Oh, also, we get a Penguin in the snow area, which is pretty cool. Now it's Olympia, and this could actually be hard. Just maybe. Not the Sigilith though, that actually gets zapped, but it does get reflected annoyingly. Next up is Meowsticks, who I send in Wigglytuff into a Shadow Ball, and then it reveals Moody. Okay, this could be pretty bad. I'll go hard into Zoroark on a Psychic, but thanks to the Reflect and Defense boost, Night Slash does 0 damage. I am unfortunately forced to sack our Zoroark for the sake of the run, after she heals and dodges my foul play. We send in Blastoise to Mega Evolve and click Bite, which turns us into a Dark type. We eventually get to take the monster down thanks to Protein. Dude, I literally would have wiped without it. Slowking can tank a Thunderbolt and starts to set up Calm Minds as it heals and puts Magnezone to sleep. We get Magnezone back in after pivoting, but trying to wake it up just doesn't work, so I get a single for Wigglytuff and then decide to sacrifice it to Hail. I literally don't care. Dusclops just has to tank one Psychic and then we can finish it off with Hex. Jesus, was that actually a hard fight in Gen 6? No shot. Our first Lysander fight happens, and Delphox Psyshocks the Mienfoo for the kill. I thought that our imposter Xatu could attempt the 1v1 with Outrage on the Gyarados, however we actually end up losing it because we get crit into losing the Speed type. Nice job, Xatu! Don't care though, we have a Levitate Cobalion to dodge the Earthquakes and Poison Jab it down as it's locked into Outrage, and then Pyroar can lose to Mega Blastoise, and Crustle destroys the baby cow. Never mind, we almost died, what the fuck. Anyways, Team Flare, activate a gun to nuke the Earth, which feels a bit political for a Pokemon game, but oh well. And then we actually fight Lysander one more time. This fight is actually really similar to the one right after this, and since we have no issues with it, I won't even bother going over it, and we'll focus on the fight after it. Team Flare tries to stop me from getting to Xerneas, but they're so ass, so I get it anyways, and holy moly, this cutscene is crazy! Anyways, it's a Latios, and yeah, we're capturing it once again. Fuck you, comment. I love legendary Pokemon and cheating. Anyways, here's the actual hard Lysander fight, with the weird fucking Doc Ock suit or whatever. Delphox can Psychic the Mienshao, and Mega Blastoise still beats the Pyroar. Same old, really. Crustle wails on the Honchkrow after taking a Steel Wing thanks to its massive defense stat, and then the Mega Gyarados hits the field. I know it's going for Aqua Tail here, so I pivot into Goodrel to force it into Outrage as it sees a kill with it. And when it clicks Outrage, it's locked into that move for 3 turns, so I can go into Magnezone and get a few Thunderbolts off. Never mind, it's Volt Absorb! Cobalion is next in line to come in, as the Gyarados confuses itself, however Sacred Sword easily destroys it, as it hits itself in confusion. So easy, so free, this guy sucks. Then they shoot their own gun because some kid beat them up and it hurt Lysander's feelings a bit too much, and I don't really care. I just want my Drapion encounter in a Horde battle. Final Shauna fight now, Cobalion can set up a sword stance on our poor defenseless cat, and then we run over her team with Sacred Swords, and then the Delphox can beat the Chestnut. That was a pretty easy one. Tieno is next in a back-to-back-to-back, However, Magnezone easily beats his first 2 Pokemon as his Talonflame has no fire move, and once again, Delphox can kill the grass type at the end. Then it's Roundhead looking ass, motherfucker looking ass. He also gets down by Magnezone, and I mean down. This kid actually just sucks. I get a Munchlax in the Horde battle, which is really good, as well as a Scrafty in the forest, and we're ready to fight the final gym leader. Why is it a fucking Ice-type gym leader? Fuck's sake, Game Freak. Anyways, this fight is really easy. I mean, look at my team versus Ice types. Delphox can easily set up Calm Minds on the Abomasnow and then flamethrowers it. The Avalugg and then the Cobalion can easily kill the Cryogonal with Sacred Sword. Epic climactic fight right there, I can't lie to you. Anyways, final Serene Grace fight. I guess I'll cover this, but only quickly. Drapion crunches Meowstic by resisting all of its moves. Blastoise never misses Focus Blast on Greninja. Altaria has nothing to hit my Magnezone, so dies, and Flareon also loses to my Blastoise. Before the final time of this run, Cobalion Sacred Swords her Absol. That was satisfying. Anyways, Elite 4 team time, probably my strongest one yet. 2 legendaries, Speed Boost Hydreigon, Protein Mega Blastoise, and 2 special walls at the back. Let's destroy this league. Midstrom is first, and he's probably the scariest. Cobalion wins the War of Attrition versus Klefki with a Sacred Sword, and thanks to Levitate, walls the Probopass too, getting rid of it after a Sacred Sword. What the shit, not even close. So Aegislash is usually pretty scary, but it's random abilities, so it doesn't have stance change, so when I send in Blastoise to fire off some Surfs, it may be tanking hits, but it's doing absolutely no damage. Finally, Hydreigon can come in after switching out of Blastoise, and we get to finish the Hex Bug off with a clean Dark Pulse. That was the hardest one, by the way. The Literal Criminal is up next, and Snorlax can tank any Pyroar hit and then 2-hit KOs it with Return, because he loves me so much. Talonflame with Drizzle is next, that's a goated set, and then gets one-shot by Rock Tomb. This fight is such a joke. Torkoal now, and I do kind of have a Latias. And then it Protein Curses me, so it cuts its own HP, which is really funny to me. Then finally, Chandelure is out, and Hydreigon wards both its stabs, we can protect for the speed boost, and then get a clean one-shot with Dark Pulse. Drasna ain't too hard, Latias can Psychic the Dragalge, and since we have 130 speed depth, we tank Dragon Pulses and get to finish it off. Then we Ice Beam Altaria, Ice Beam Noivern by somehow outspeeding it due to our nature, and then Dragon Pulsing Druddigon. Another hard fight in the bag. Yeah, I'm just kidding. I don't know this guy's name, but he's white, so we have to beat him. Clobbopter loses to Mega Blastoise thanks to Protein Focus Blast, and then Latias comes in on Starmie. I can't go Hydreigon as it does have Dazzling Gleam, however, Latias can easily Thunderbolt it twice to kill it. Barbaracle thinks he's that guy, but Flo just nails it with the grass knot into Moonblast after dodging a clutch Stone Edge. Finally, Flo just barely survives a Gyarados Waterfall and then predicts Latias perfectly as it Earthquakes on my switch. But I knew it wouldn't kill, and we can just outspeed a Thunderbolt right after. W Elite 4. Diantha now, and I was so ready to be done with this challenge that I just kinda snapped. I led Blastoise, take 1,000,000,000% from Flying Press but kill with an Ice Beam, and then go hard into Cobalion on the Head Smash from Tyrantrum. We set up a Swords Dance and Sacred Sword it down, as well as the Goodra right after, which surprisingly kills. Aurora stands no chance either. Gorgeist 2 falls for 2 Iron Heads as it trick-or-treats. Wow. However, I do actually just send in Hydreigon to finish it off, because I do want to bait the Fairy move from Mega Gardevoir. Snorlax will eat up this hit and then shred through with returns out of sheer love for me as she desperately spams heals, but she's a midi champion and gets folded. Wow, Pokemon X done. Now, onto the hardest game of the series. It's time for the hardest game of the series, that being Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. This is going to be a long one. After a rabid mongoose tries to maul me to death, this hot guy feels bad for me so gives me an animal, which funnily enough are all Kanto Pokemon, which actually made me wonder if it had been randomized correctly. However, it had been randomized, so I decided to pick Porygon to give me an easier early game, and also I did need to pick Rowlet so I could get the shot of me holding him. I mean, look at that round little boy. Bland rival number 5 is here, so I bash his sea lion to bits using Blunt Force Trauma, and then go find this girl who casually had a universe in her bag, and then save it from a flock of birds. The first encounter of the run is a Munna, which, sure, whatever. And then Hao wants to fight immediately again, but I don't really know what he expected, so Porygon and Munna can easily take out his Pichu and Popplio, thanks to our Moxie boost on Porygon. After bullying some kids at the local preschool, and then the MILF, I mean teacher, we grab our next encounter. Now, on this route, there is actually a small chance to get a Furfrou usually, which, since this is randomized by BST, you can get some strong Pokemon. Hence, I found a random Minior. For future reference, this Minior will break on the layout, so if you see a PNG, it's probably Minior. We have our first run-in with Team Skull and their bats, and then right after, I'm forced to face a Ligma. We have no issues with this fight though. Porygon takes down Yungoos with 2 Psybeams, and Minior can easily wall out the Smeargle and take it out with several rollouts. We get an Intimidate Flabébé, which is crazy good because it naturally has a high special defense. We also get a super lucky Thunderbolt TM immediately, which is kind of plot armor, and I can clear out the trial easily and set up to face Biggie Cheese himself. This is where Intimidate Flabébé really shine, immediately dropping the Rat's attack to -1. Fairy Wind is also a clean 2-shot, and after he calls in Biggie Smalls, we tank a Fury Swipes and then finish them both off with Fairy Wind easily, getting the Normalium Z, which yes, I am allowing Z moves. A few more encounters go by, being Wimpod, Nincada, Pichu, and a Bunnelby. We fight the aliens and their dog, which is actually really easy, and then Hao immediately jumps us as we leave the meadow, so we shit stomp him with Thunderbolt Pikachu and Thunderbolt Porygon. Our first Grand Trial versus Harler is up now, and we have a pretty good matchup. The Munna can beat the Machop with Psybeams, and we get a Beast Boost to one-shot the Crabrawler too, who never uses his Z move for some reason. Finally, Flabébé can switch into the Makuhita, intimidate it, and then take it out, with a Fairy Wind giving us the Fight EMZ. After these 2 new encounters go on, we get the Flying EMZ for free, and we take a quick trip to go Mantine surfing onto the next island, which is where shit usually really gets hard. We start by getting a Baneri, who we can evolve ASAP by, again, completely legal methods. We also get my old pal Graveler, and then my other old pal Ralts, who is unfortunately female, so no Gallade for this one. Flip! We get ready to fight Hao again at the ranch, and we use the Return Lopunny to smash... get it, because it's like, okay, get it. His mons, as well as some of his help from Minior. An emo blonde boy, he just like me for real, shows up, and Flabébé kills his pet fox, who has no illusion in this game, and Munna easily beats Zubat. Type Null actually causes me some issues, as Graveler takes decent damage from Pursuit and barely does any back with Magnitude. However, eventually Lopunny can come in and Normalium Z it into Oblivion. Maybe Z moves are pretty good. Our next totem fight is against the Rockwounded, and this is the first really hard one of the game. We need Pikachu to immediately burn its Wakan Berry with a Thunderbolt and then somehow flinch it. I genuinely have no idea how this happened, but oh well. We hit it with another one and barely survived the attacks with 5 HP before we Volt Switch out, which is another great TM I found. I got really lucky on this run. And we send in Minior on the double bug move, winning both 50-50s because of course I do. Lopunny can come in next and Breakneck blitz the Dewpider, winning me the totem battle and gaining me the Waterium Z. The aliens now have a Poipole, who Graveler easily beats, and we get a Rattata, a Spearow, and a Horsey. We beat up Team Skull some more, and then hit the #1 Victory Royale before going up the mountain to face the trial. Let me tell you, did I luck out on this trial, because the Marowak has slow start, which I didn't even acknowledge at first. I go into Floette on a Brick Break for an Intimidate as Salazzle comes in and imposters my Floette. We get up a Rain Dance and then pivot Fearow back into Floette for another Intimidate into the Marowak. Then we let in Graveler, and the Floette on the other side actually sets the rain back up for us, as Graveler somehow tanks a Brick Break and a Razor Leaf, but only rolls a Magnitude 5, so it does very little damage. Minior comes in to try next and Ancient Powers Marowak, taking it out thanks to a high roll. However, we still end up going down to the Fairy Wind right after, but the main threat is gone and Biggie Cheese can come in and join us to the fight, getting us the Fire MZ. 07 for Minior. Not much happens between trials here. We end up talking to Colress, grab some big storm mons like Poison Heal, Shelder, and Marini, as well as an Electric, and we're already at the grass trial, stealing Sudowoodo's roots. That's gonna be a joke. People always say Halorantis is the hardest trial, which I do agree with, but I got really lucky because I have a Fearow, who can evolve before this one, and also has Leer. So we use Leer twice, and then Supersonic Sky Strike it after taking many Exorcers to destroy it, completely leaving Kecleon, who we barely survive in Ancient Power from, and can kill with 2 jump kicks afterwards with Lopunny. That was pretty anticlimactic. We get Epic Imposter Goodbye, which is basically useless. I was really excited to get a Garchomp, but no, it wasn't meant to be. And then we also fight Plumeria, using Electros on Golbat, and then Graveler on Salandit, because I did find a Thunderstone. The second Grand Trier, Olivia, is next, and her Z Lycanroc can be pretty scary. Electros 2-shots the Anorith with Thunderbolt, and Florges can wall out the Lillileap thanks to me finding a lucky Shiny Stone. This makes this way easier, as we can Dazzling Gleam it a few times to kill it. Graveler tanks the Continental Crush, kind of, and then we get some damage off. Then we go into Diggersby and double kick it down, giving us the Rocky MZ. Jesus, Z moves are scary. Nihiligo randomly shows up when we take a trip to the lab, so we quickly kill it and move on with our day, and then we beat up Howl for the shits and giggles. Golisopod beats Popplio, Florges beats Noibat, Gardevoir beats Raichu, and Graveler beats Flareon. Oh fuck me, it's huge power. Well, at least we still beat it with Continental Crush. Hey, another live A-Shake editing reaction. So I thought this was huge power because when I switched into something else, I can't remember what it was, it did like way more damage than I would have ever imagined even for a Flareon. And so I realized this isn't actually huge power post-com. It's actually Stakeout, which boosts the power of a move if you're switching into it. So the reason that my Pokemon that I switched in took so much damage is because when it switched in, it took like 1,000,000,000% because of the Stakeout boost, and then afterwards it didn't take that much damage afterwards. Grab ourselves a Stunky, a download Nidorino, and a Slowpoke on the big mountain, and we take on the Electric Trial puzzle, which is too hard for my child brain to understand. We lead Florges for the Intimidate and immediately go Imposter Gabite to tank any hit it throws at me and use Spiky Shields to deal damage to it. Eventually we manage to get Nidoking in, which gets a special attack raise, and then we get to fire off an Inferno Overdrive off of, you guessed it, the Flamethrower TM. We got it. Look, I know, it genuinely seems like I'm cheating at this point, but I swear to you, I'm not. I'm only truthful to the HJake28 community. Anyways, we do the thing, and then it's your boy Guzma. It's actually pretty hard. Fearow can get good damage off with the Golisopod with Supersonic Sky Strike, but then immediately dies to a crit Razor Shell. This is a sign of the times. Nidoking can now come in and Thunderbolt it, thanks to outspeeding, and we get a bit of damage off onto the Masquerain too, as we go Electros, who barely takes his Bug Buzz, but we can kill back with a clean Thunderbolt. We get all these pretty hype encounters, I can't be bothered to mention, but oh boy, they sure are encounters, and we go in to take photos of silly little goofy burst Pokemon. Ah, look at them. So yeah, Totem Mimikyu, strap in, this is a long one. As per usual, Florges Intimidate lead, and we immediately go Cloyster to activate our Toxicorp to give us Poison Heal. We go for Icicle Spear, as well as we get Cursed by Banette annoyingly, so I have to send back in Florges to wish back into Cloyster. This is what we call Big Stall. We get some more damage off of Cloyster before we go into Skuntank, and then we immediately go back into Cloyster and finish off the Mimikyu with a nice shard. All that's left is the Jellicent on the field, who we can kill with the Gigavolt Havoc from Electros. GG, that was a pretty easy trial, and Poison Heal Cloyster might be a bit broken. So we casually find a Mega Beedrill, who unfortunately does turn back to normal Beedrill when I turn the game off, but it was funny whilst it lasted. And we just get a Charmeleon as we move up to the Team Skull base. Here we go to fight It's Your Boy Guzma again, and this time we won't lose anyone to Golisopod, thanks to Toxapex and Cloyster doing a bit of toxic stalling. You might want to get used to this. Pinsir comes in to Storm Throw me, so I go Nidoking and Flamethrower it, before going Magmortar, so I can set up a Flame Charge, which is important because now I can outspeed the Demon Masquerain and Inferno Overdrive it into next year. Guzma lag. We take on Gladion again, thanks to a lot of help from Nidoking, and we're ready to fight Nanu for the easy win. Gardevoir and Golisopod can take out Sableye together, Florges being the special rule it is, destroys the Illusion Persian, and Cloyster is able to take out Krokorok with Icicle Spears thanks to Swagger. Emo Z obtained. We rush off to the evil team base or whatever, do a pretty tricky back-to-back against some white people in masks, I don't know, to be honest, and then we fight Faber in a 2v2 with everyone's favourite How. However, How actually has some decent Pokemon, so we don't struggle too much with this fight thanks to our own really good team. Speaking of struggles, Guzma wants to fight me again, so we use the same strategies as last time. Toxistall the Golisopod with Cloyster, go Pex on the Pinsir and Toxistall that thanks to Venoshock. Nidoking comes in and overdrives the Vikavolt, and Florges actually tanks the Demon Masquerain's hits. Guzma, he kinda fell off. Lucamine is a really weird fight because she is completely random AI. She tries to summon Nihiligo again using the little universe guy, and we go in to fight her. Florges can beat Clefable with Toxic and Wish. Our non-Mega Beedrill easily beats the Lilligant thanks to Poison Jab. Yes, I did say non-Mega, I'm very sad about it. Slowbro can tank the hits from Beware and do big damage with Psychic. Golem can tank Lopunny's hits and kill it back. And Toxapex stalls out Milotic. Yeah, this is the content we're going to end on, and damn it, you're going to enjoy it. Lucamine goes into the portal, but I don't really care, she's a fake hoe. I move on, I get some more pretty cool encounters. Whoa, look at these guys. Watch a child get blessed by the gods, and move into the big cave thing I can't remember the name of. Time to face Komaro, but he's actually pretty easy thanks to our plot armor Charizard. Fly MZ does a lot of damage, and we tank a Thunder Punch, meaning we can just fly afterwards to easily kill the Komaro, and then Flamethrower to kill the Scizor through Light Screen. Why was that so easy? We go on to some altars, play some epic flute music, and summon a demon or something. Isn't this just Platinum again? The Lucamine and Guzma come back, because this guy is trying to kill our guy, and Ultra Beasts attack everywhere, and realistically, I don't really care, because I'm just going to send it into a black hole with my skunk to kill it. Wow, Pokemon sure is awesome. So we kinda have to go to an alternate reality to get light back, and this is the hardest boss fight in all of Pokemon. Ultra Necrozma. And there's only one way I can beat this fight, and it's gonna be hard. and really boring. We Toxic it with our old pal Musharna because it's like my only Pokemon who can live any hit. Then we pivot Florges on the Dragon moves, Incineroar on the Psychic moves, Nidoking on the Rock moves, and back to Skuntank on the Photon Geyser and Sucker Punch to kill. Yeah, this is free as hell. I don't know why anyone complains about this, just Toxic Store. Anyways, we have to do a boss rush for Mina, so I'll try to cover these as quick as I can. Mina herself is pretty simple thanks to our Charizard, our Nidoking, and then Skuntank too to kill all her fairies. Our strat for Totem Ribombee is really cool. I found out our Weezing has the ability Dancer, so whenever Ribombee goes to Quiver Dance, we get the boosts too, and also get to attack that turn. To make that better, we also have Haze that can boost away her stats. The Ribombee goes down to Sludge Bombs in very short time, and we also get to send an Incineroar to Darkest Lariat the Blissey for a surprising one-hit KO. Nice final trial, bro. Hapu is the final grand trial, and Golisopod easily liquidates her Golok immediately. Florges beats Flygon due to it being a special attacker, and Mudsdale comes in as I go to Seismitoad on a heavy slam. Thankfully, we land a Hydro Pump and Gastrodon can come in, who Victory Bell easily beats with Razor Leaf. Is what I would say if it didn't live on 1, put us to 1 HP, and then we miss the 95% accurate Razor Leaf and die. Wow, thanks for that one. I take out my anger on the other emo blonde boy in the room, who's Gladion. Our No Guard Golem never misses Stone Edge into Crobat. Florges walls up the Zoroark as per usual, and Primarina tries to beat the Silvally, who's kind of bugged because random abilities. Florges has to finish the job however, and Charizard easily walls Lucario and can kill with Flamethrower. Now we get to face the Elite Four, and our team is pretty interesting, being Incineroar, Big Stall Toxapex, Big Stall Florges, Golem, Alolan Raichu, ignore the layout, and then Flygon, which we actually never used in the main run. So Molayne is up first, and his Klefki is purely setup bait for Flygon to Dragon Dance up to +6 after taking plenty of Flash Cannons. Then we can Earthquake Bishop, Metagross, Dugtrio, and Incineroar can kill the final Magnezone, just to try and not overlevel Flygon too much. Nice one, old man. Olivia is up next, and Flygon sets up a Dragon Dance on our Moldo once again and can Tectonic Rage it down to hell. We can tank a Cradily hit, however it just goes to Stealth Rocks, so it falls to an Earthquake too. Probopass also falls to Earthquake, and so does Lycanroc shortly after. We go Golem on Gigalith to tank Iron Heads and finish it off with Alolan Raichu's Grass Knot, after pivoting it into an Iron Head. This is going pretty well so far. Acerola has potential to be scary, but isn't that bad. We immediately lead Flygon and somehow one-shot the Banette with one Earthquake. We go Toxapex on the Frostlass and Toxic Stall it, because, let's be real, why wouldn't we? Palossand comes in, which Florges slowly but surely whistles down with Moonblast. The Helmize isn't scary when we have an Incineroar to hit it with a Black Hole Eclipse, and we can Darkest Lariat the Drifblim right after. This is going really well. I feel like something's about to go very wrong. Gahili now, and Flygon makes the lead 4 out of 4 times. We Rock Slide and get an immediate flinch, which is just what you like to see, and then Dragon Dance up on the Mandibuzz, and Rock Slide actually does 0 damage, which makes me think that this Mandibuzz is unaware. However, we do high roll the second Rock Slide, so it's all good. Florges comes in on a Howlucha and takes the Poison Jab thanks to Intimidate, killing it with Moonblast. Golem can barely live a Bullet Seed, but doesn't have to, as AI just screeches, so we Stone Edge, and we make quick work of the Oricorio shortly after. This No Guard Golem is seriously really good. Our final challenge is against Hau, and the final battle of this video commences. Why does it have to be against Hau, man? That's so fucking lame. Flygon tanks a Psychic from the Alolan Raichu and kills back with Earthquake really easily. The Ugly Crab comes in, but we got a Toxapex who eats it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Taurus is next, and I get Intimidate off with Florges before going back into Pex to commence the Toxic Storm once again. Yes, this is such good content! Raichu can take a hit from Primarina and nuke it with Gigavolt Havoc. Florges still beats the shit out of Noivern with Moonblast, and our final challenge, the Huge Power Flareon. And it does like 55% to Golem with Flare Blitz! I'd try and sack Florges for an Intimidate, but it ends up going for Baby Doll Eyes, as it does a shit ton to Pex, but not enough, so we get some damage off thankfully. Finally, Golem can finish off what she started by Stone Edging that thing to hell and back. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is every mainline generation, minus Gen 8 and Gen 9, Nuzlocked with random encounter. And with that being said, that is 7 generations of games, all completed in a hardcore Nuzlocke setting. Here's a little graph I made showing the deaths, because the thing I found quite funny is that Ultra Moon is tied to be the lowest, but it is consistently labeled as, in this batch of games, the hardest game. So it's quite interesting. Anyways, if you guys watched to this point, truly thank you. This video literally, I think my first Fire Red recording, it was literally all the way back in November at some point. So I've been working on it all up until this point, just to show my perspective and show that I really am the best Nuzlocker alive. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, obviously subscribe. And I actually really appreciate it if you made it all the way to the end. I know this is like a really scuffed outro, but I literally can't be bothered. I'm literally so done with this video. But yeah, subscribe.